Welcome back, everyone. We're here with the Rally Cry halftime show after...
Don't even have a watch.
Not
Not you, Steve.
Oh,
There he goes.
he's supposed to have a watch?
Now, you're right. I took it off because I was sweating. Is it time for the second series to start? I feel like...
Oh,
Did I miss
yeah. I mean, that was, wow, that was a convincing game, just not for the team anybody expected. And if DesRx is in chat, shut up, you don't count, no one asked you.
We went from 2 like 40-minute games to this, by the way. Like that's a whew,
Yeah.
a bit of whiplash.
That's a good way to put it.
24.3, that is 10, 16. Ooh, he almost did as much damage as the entire top side of FlyQuest Challengers combined.
He did more than
That's
1,000
scary.
damage per minute.
Yeah.
That is also scary. There was a lot of fighting,
insane.
to be fair, and I'll
They had
give
a mountain
FlyQuest
soul.
credit.
I didn't even know that.
Yeah, it's gonna happen, you know.
It was just inevitable. Do you pay attention to dragons when a team is 10,000 up?
No, we
Honestly?
were talking about Spider-Verse.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, clearly,
Still haven't seen it, by the way.
Kangas,
Yeah, no
first of all,
spoilers.
you're failing, Kangas. You need to go watch that movie immediately.
I do
You
need to go see it.
Good. And speaking of seeing, we're going to see how you guys are going to be able to talk about this game, because even though there may not be as much to talk about as you might like,
Don't
we'll
make
have our
us.
Rally Cry halftime show to go through. It is called Minute with Limits. And that basically means you're going to have to explain some part of the game.
Oh, no.
But first, you have to pick a number between 1 and 4.
What in? Oh,
Who?
Kangas,
Which
go
one of
first.
us? All right.
3.
1, 2. All right. I need you. Oh, actually, first I'll show you the word.
Do I need to close my
Word.
eyes?
No, you're good.
Positions.
Okay.
The word is positions, meaning
Oh,
that you
okay.
cannot use... I want you to tell me what happened in the first couple of minutes of the game where Taco Gaming got the lead. No positions. No, you can't say, like, roles in the game is what I mean.
that kind of positions.
Yeah,
I was
yeah,
trying racking my brain like, was I gonna do that anyway? I couldn't
Steve,
think of
I
one,
thought
but...
Josh was the dirty one, bro.
Yeah, put them in your Tinder bio.
All right, Kangas.
All right, I'll pretend I don't know any positions going into this one. So wait, I have to
Nice
explain that
try.
early game? Wait, what? All right.
Yeah, that first 5 minutes, that invade, you know what I'm talking about.
Okay, yeah, sure. So we saw Rosethorn step up on full vision, and it didn't matter because his friend came in here, hashtag #ONation, and was able to take a blast cone over, caught Yuji completely by surprise, who definitely thought he was safe where he was currently located, which happens to also be his role in the game, but I can't say it. And then it just never really stopped from there. Then he spawned and invaded on the Raptors, and then also died. And then he went top lane and also died. And then that all happened in the early game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Monster got a kill. That was
He
cool.
did. That was cool. They got a big shutdown, 1,000K, a lot of dopamine, even though FlyQuest lost in the end. You know, it's a good feeling. Yeah. All right, Kangas, good job. Very proud of you. You did good.
Happy for you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Happy for you.
Rosethorn was just kind of a missionary going around knocking on.
I thought we were
doors.
not talking about positions.
Oh right. Sorry, I had the other way. Yep. Okay. Continue.
Anyways, Josh, now I'm gonna mix the cards up a little bit because you
Uh-oh.
might get the same one again.
Oh, okay.
All right.
Yeah.
Number between
we're
1
gonna
and
go with
5.
no, 5.
Or
All right, let's
4.
go.
I lied to you. I lied to you.
Okay. Let's go 4.
1, 2, 3. Okay. You've drawn champion names.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
What am I describing?
I want you to describe any one team fight without using champion names.
Oh, that is so much harder. Well, I guess I could just use player names.
Which team
Exactly.
fight? I mean, like, there's so
Any
many.
team fight. Pick one. Exactly.
So,
you have a lot to choose from.
The only team fight worth mentioning involves Rosethorn playing a lamb and a goat, or a goat and a wolf, hops over a wall in order to try and chase down Angry Ball Lady and a Featherman. And as they try and do so, they get a little bit too close and realize that, oh no, Angry Ball Lady is hanging out in the bush, and suddenly everybody on both teams is just jumping on into the fight. And ultimately, while the GOAT threw down like the life-saving field to make sure that they don't die very quickly, there was just too much damage because Lady with a electric gun, basically having a static shiv built into their kit, was just running around pew-pewing people over and over. And they were almost able to get 1,000 gold shutdown, but the GOAT and Wolf ends up dying to Punchy Lady instead. And from there, because the gold went to the wrong place, there was not a whole lot left to do. The rest of Team Fish Taco came up and were like vultures, picking up every single person as they tried to run away.
All right, thank you,
I
Josh.
feel like we should add more rules to this.
More
it should be
rules?
a cumulative thing.
All right,
No
like,
letter
I
key.
can't say positions and
You know what?
Okay,
you know what,
okay.
Kangas? I'm so glad you brought that up.
Oh,
now
no,
for
wait,
your
no,
turn.
no, it's Josh's turn
no,
again.
hold on. We got a couple minutes. Okay, Kangas. Pick 2 numbers between 1 and 4.
2 numbers?
Yeah, because they're going to be 2 cards now.
No. Now what do you do?
I'm just going to
What if I
stand
refuse?
here in silence until you pick something.
No,
All right,
make him do all 4.
44.
Oh, you know what? You're right. Nope, it's too late. Kangas, because you defied the flex. Josh, thank you so much. So, positions, player names, champion names.
Oh, no!
And item names. So why don't you go ahead and describe the last team fight for me?
The last team fight? What even
Yeah,
happened in the
why don't
last
you walk
team
the
fight?
crowd through it?
Like the Nexus defense?
Yeah.
Do I
Nexus
have
is
any
luckily
props
not
I
a
can use?
position.
I'm just trying-
Yeah, next you could say Nexus. You can still use words, you know. What's that?
That was Rosethorn. I mean, that
Oh,
was
yeah, no, I
that
understand.
was person in the second position on,
there you
on
go.
the blue team
Uh-huh.
doing something at the very end.
There's a
To be fair, it wasn't actually second position that won that fight.
I looked at the props
You know
I had
what?
available.
We
I don't think
put
I can do
Kangas-
anything with a crab.
We kind of put Kangas through the ringer with that one, so
right.
I think I will accept that answer for now. And even
You did
though
all right given the circumstances. Yeah.
I'm just gonna let that
Not
one
bad.
go.
Pat myself
All
on the back.
Yeah, sure. Okay, so we're kind of getting close to time. As much as I want to
Okay.
give Josh another chance to suffer, and as much as I don't want to seem biased towards Steve, who I dislike, obviously, I want to talk about this next game in the series.
Wait.
You want to talk
You're
about the
not
next
even
game?
gonna
at
give
all?
me
Yeah,
the
I know,
credit
guys,
of winning?
because I feel like we really should discuss it. Like, no one expected Team Fish Taco to play this well. No one expected FlyQuest to flop like they just did. Like, can we all agree that's exactly what happened? So
Yep.
Yeah.
what's the play going into game 2? Is it draft?
Joshi, I don't know if you have the same rate as I do, but it felt to me that early game, props to TFT, the biggest props I can give them is being able to snowball because they were so confident in invading. Yuji was so confident in his ability to turn it. I think Onat jumping over with the blast cone was a surprise, but it felt like it was just an ego battle at the very beginning of like, okay, we know the Kindred's coming in, but we have the counterplay. Oh, wait, we don't have the counterplay. Spawns.
Oh, I'm dead.
All right, I got to get back into the game. I'm going to invade and then punished again for it. So it just felt like a misread from Yuji's side that then just turned into an insurmountable lead.
Yeah, unfortunately, this is not the first time that UG has gotten blasted in the early game, right? We also saw it happen by Mirror in their matchup against Team Liquid, and this is not something that we typically attribute to UG's playstyle, right? He tends to be the one a little bit more confident in the early game, and the confidence was there. But one of the things I always love to talk about with Mark is, I didn't believe them, and I was wrong. He did not believe that Onat and Rosethorn were actually going to be able to do anything, and it's like, all right, I guess the game is over, because I didn't believe them. So I'm kind of expecting that if the game doesn't start off that well for Team Fish Taco, it's going to be a much tougher game. We did see that Masu was able to make a couple of plays on the other side of the map, have a couple of decent team fights on a Zeri without items, and I really expect that FlyQuest Challengers will not try and flip the game that hard again, because we saw what happened.
You think they learned their lesson, Josh? Is that what
I
you're
think
saying?
they've learned their lesson.
All right, well, we're going to find out whether or not that's true, because I'm just getting word that draft for the next game of the series is ready to go. So why don't you guys take us away with it, and we'll see if FlyQuest really did learn.
Thank you very much, Beatdown. Speaking of Rafa and lessons that he's learned in the jungle, hopefully UG doesn't have a match history like Rafa currently does. If you want to go check out OP.GG, check out his Twitter. I know he tweeted out a photo of that.
We did win our last 2 games of the night, I will have you know.
Nice. So
one of them we won because our opposing Draven disconnected, and the other one we won because they surrendered at 15 minutes because I got very fed. A couple people got very fed, but we'll look back at that one a little bit later. We are now into this one once again as we have the Emilio being banned out by Team Fish Taco. And interestingly enough, the Maokai banned up against the Rosethorn as well. It doesn't feel as though FlyQuest Challengers is trying to do anything here to prevent Team Fish Taco from having the same kind of composition that just won them their previous game. But it has to be a situation where you change up the game plan. I would not be particularly surprised if FlyQuest had a better answer into the Kindred, which was one of the few champions that could have snowballed that game as far as it did.
Or just ban it. I also imagine Nico ban here from Team Fish Taco. I think FlyQuest Challengers made a big mistake in not taking that off the table in game number 1. It is such a powerful pick right now, and Onat was able to pop off on it. So if you ban away the Emilio, you have to also ban the Yuumi because otherwise they can just blue pick that or blue one that. And then after those 2 are gone, Nico feels like a must ban as well. Oh, Olaf ban.
All right, well, who's going to be playing Nico on FlyQuest Challengers is the question, or what answer do FlyQuest Challengers feel like they would have into it? They are just going to snap it up for themselves, and this is a champion that is very tough to deal with, right? One of the big things that we have seen, unfortunately, from Onat is a lot of tippers that haven't been landing. It's very easy to land the Nico ultimate. You just get right on top of them. If they don't have no dashes, they're just going to get caught in the knockup and the stun, and now it is going to be in the hands of FlyQuest Challengers. I'm expecting this is probably going to go over the hands of Spyrex, and Yuju will probably play something with a lot of crowd control as well.
I would imagine. But the Olaf focus, they're still worried about Faisal. That is one of his pocket picks. Leaves the Nico up. We'll see if FlyQuest Challengers have success and what Taco's answer is. They do not get the Kindred, which I also kind of consider the counter to Nico potentially, because if she goes in, then you just pop your ultimate. You survive through the initial engage. You're fine, but they go for the Aphelios instead. Pretty low mobility. AD carry for Spawn, who is the player we went in expecting to talk a lot about for Team Fish Taco as the premier carry on the team. Last game, it was less about him, more about the rest of the team, but it might be back to a Spawn show.
Yeah, we will have to pay a lot more attention to the bottom lane this time, unless we have another eruption in the jungle. But we did also see that Scary Jerry had a fantastic game on the Ezreal previously. The Trinity Force buffs have made this character very strong, and interestingly enough, it looks to be paired with the Karma. Ezreal Karma has a lot of wave shove, a lot of control over the early parts of the laning phase, just because of how powerful both of their basic spells really are. And now Team Fish Taco, one of the things about Aphelios is you start off with your gun rotation in a way where you don't want it, and you don't necessarily have the tools to be super aggressive with it later. So Team Fish Taco are instead going to be focusing on the mid and jungle duo, grabbing this Vi up for Rosethorn, and he has had mixed success on this champ.
It pairs pretty well with the Ahri. They can set each other up to chain the CC, but yes, Rosethorn, I mean, I think that's something in general we can say for Team Fish Taco. That's why they weren't favorites coming into today, is that they have been struggling to find their footing so far in Summer Split. Doesn't mean that they can't turn those fortunes around, as we just saw in game number 1, but less expectation for Rosethorn to be able to just blow open a game with the Vi, as opposed to the Kindred, which has that ability to just keep that stack going. Vi, you have shorter windows where you are really able to do as much of that.
Yeah. The other thing that I kind of want to point out, right, is Team Fish Taco on this, they have a very powerful combo to be aggressive in the mid lane, but they are also looking at a situation where, as we were saying, in team fights, if Vi is ulting onto Nico, you better hope you're killing them right away, because otherwise, all of your close range champions are going to get blown up in the counter fire coming out of FlyQuest Challengers. This is something where in the laning phase, you don't care as much, because there's usually not somebody else there to help out the Nico. So Team Fish Taco should be able to find an advantage there, and if you put the Nico behind, it is a much easier game to play.
And also, if you're trying to get on top of an Ezreal, I mean, the Arcane Shift can suddenly put the Vi into a bad spot where you're not looking to ult that far. So Rosethorn doesn't have the ideal targets right now in the draft to actually snap engage on, or I guess it's all going to be conditional as to what the rest of the team is doing, how close they are to follow up. But they're not going to get Rakan follow-up. That is banned away, as FlyQuest Challengers also banned away Lunasia's Jax. I expect the support pick. Save that counter pick for Lunasia on red side. This is something that Team Fish Taco do all the time. That's why he's a 71% counter pick rate. A little lower now based on last game, but still, it's up there. And NXI back on the Nautilus.
Yeah, and as the Nautilus comes through, we did see NXI playing that just fine, right? We had some questions about this player beforehand, but I guess most of the time questions were not asked in the previous game. And so as we start looking at this one, we do see Masu and Winsome on characters with a lot of opportunity to bully around in the early game, and Faisal looking to be picking up this Gragas for themselves as a very safe counter pick, or a very safe line pick up in the top side. The only thing we have left to do is see what it is that Yuji wants to be playing here into the Vive, because there's a lot of options, right? It is less about how you want to interact there and how you want to be playing around the rest of the map, because you know Team Fish Taco is going to be very dive heavy.
I mean, we've seen him go for things like the Rek'Sai before. I don't know if this is the type of comp that would warrant that. Because, like, Maokai's gone, Kindred's gone, Kha'Zix's Wukong, the pool is pinched. Actually, okay, Viego does make a little bit more sense to me, but no, pivots back to the Poppy instead.
I honestly love the fact that Shaden has reminded the league that Poppy is a good champion, especially with the number of diving champions that we have been seeing. It blocks up Rosethorn's Vault Breaker, stops the ultimate coming out from Onet, and it just has a lot of tools to have a lot of utility in a lot of these fights. You knock people away, you stun them, you knock them entirely out of the fight, and now it's going to be on Yuji to showcase the confidence that he has had, because this is a player that came in very timid in the early parts of his career and really kind of lit up when he started playing more assassins, and you can definitely play that way with how strong Poppy is in the early game.
I mean, Yuji was the one that made us think, are we going to see a Zed jungle because of his reputation on his assassins? No, Poppy, very different style, but it still makes a lot of sense into things like the Vi, the Ari. You can lock down their mobility if you can get on top of them. But Lunacia counterpicks with the Cassante at the very end. So nothing too spicy, but still very strong pick. And he had a really good performance on this last time. That last game, I know it wasn't like the Lunacia show, but there was that one moment where he has this insane counterplay in the 1v2, which kind of got drowned out by everything else crazy going on. But those are the kind of plays that we loved seeing from Lunacia in Spring Split. Gets one of those in game one. That's a momentum builder for this player.
Oh yeah, it's a lot of confidence coming out from Team Fish Taco as well, right? Like, this is an easy game to write off as the team that lost. It's like, well, we made like 2 decisions and we were wrong about both of them. Yeah. It is what it is. But this is a team that gives you so much confidence from Team Fish Taco to come into this one. And one of the things that I really like seeing when you just won a game really hard is you actually play a different champion, because I have seen so many times where players will play the exact same champion after popping off on it, and they will play as though, they will play as though they are incredibly powerful. And that is not what is happening right now. You have to reset and go for all of the smart plays. But NXI, go for it. Throw it out.
All right, Masu's hovering around. Is NXI in the brush? Actually, I didn't notice.
He didn't spawn.
Okay.
They're both there.
Masu's been a little chaotic with this. If you walk up and Q at the right timing, you can land it.
You gotta hope for the lollipop right now, so Masu should be able to dodge it. But, you know, it doesn't hurt to throw it, you know?
Yeah. It's not like you're giving up crucial information early on.
Yeah.
FlyQuest already see that nobody's invading, so they just back away. Nobody goes for anything crazy. And we should see a very safe start for both of them. Now, remember last time around, Rosethorn and the Kindred went for an early invade onto Yuji. I'm going to predict less likelihood that that happens, given the matchup this time around.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. It is definitely a little bit tougher here on the Vi to be aggressive into the Poppy. Poppy does a lot of burst damage when the phase rush can just run away if they do not like the fight that is going on. And so, as we take a look at this game, we set up last game as saying that Spyrax might be the biggest difference maker for FlyQuest Challengers over Team Fish Taco, just because of the experience and the consistent success Spyrax has had playing with this roster compared to what we have seen from Onet. And I expect that now that they are once again on a character like this Nico, they should be able to have a lot of success here.
Bot lane getting aggressive right now. This is one of the things that we were considering.
True.
Okay, Team Fish Taco, that's my joke. I made that one live on broadcast.
You know,
probably saw it.
Probably did. It's definitely...
Although, maybe they tweeted before I did. I didn't check Twitter.
Oh, true.
Maybe I stole it.
Maybe you stole it. You know what they say, imitation is the sincerest form of flattery.
Also, everything's derivative, so, you know, nothing...
True.
There is no unique new humor, everybody.
I'll have to think about that one a little
bit
more.
now, as Onet experiencing the other side of the Nico matchup now. Yep. I still just can't believe this made it through 2 games in a row.
I know. It's gotten snapped up B1 both times as it should be, but Yuji is the one going for invade here onto Rosethorn. I believe does get spotted out on the ward as they came up the blue ramp. But hey, we saw this from Keel earlier in the day. Onat does need to be very careful about the position.
Yuji can look for the flash if Onat positions behind the turret to wave clear. You could just get stunned and die instantly, but not giving them the opportunity. Yuji doesn't want to waste too much time. Has not cleared the top quadrant of the jungle yet.
Uh-oh.
And now Rosethorn's here on the hover. Onat was ready with the charm. Ooh, steadfast presence keeps him alive. Flashes in the auto. The shield range from Yuji will pick up first blood to FlyQuest jungler.
That's the confidence we like to see coming out from Yuji. Flashing forward for the ranged auto attack, even though it takes them a lot of time to even get to their rest of the camps. Picking up that first blood really sets a different tone for Game 2 than what we saw in Game 1. And honestly, these behind-the-back ganks coming through in the mid lane have been so devastating for so many teams. It's so hard to go around it. It looked like Team Fish Taco were ready to even play for it, but now Yuji's going to invade again.
Ooh, says it wasn't that fun Game 1, was it, Rosethorn? How about you get a taste of your own medicine? Walks up, has the red buff of his own, and smited away by Rosethorn. Guarantees his own red buff. Now Yuji's actually in a lot of trouble here. Onat's on the flank. Yuji can take the blast cone. Actually should be able to get away potentially. Winsome flashing in onto NXI.
Nice.
That's a route down. Has the W shield. Masu can't get the damage, but one more on the spawn. Doesn't land it. They survive. And so much time bought by Yuji off screen. Did not fall in the top jungle. What was going on there?
How did nobody die in the past 30 seconds? They were both so low, single digits surely for both sides of Spawn and NXI. And then I don't even know how Yuji gets out of that one, just running around, buys enough time, like you said, for Spyrex to get in and save his bacon. But look at the CS differential we're starting to see in the mid lane, right? That is an unrecovered CS lead. And now as Rosethorn goes into Yuji's jungle, Yuji is back out on the map. You're going to get a couple small raptors, but you're going to have to smite fight for the big one.
As NXI coming, though, if Yuji gets overconfident here, okay, doesn't go on to Rosethorn, just wants to take away some of the camps. I thought, that's dangerous. You know, maybe Spyrex calls, hey, engage, I'm here, but with NXI around, it's an uneven fight. They start with the Dragon instead.
Yep.
Support and jungler linking up, and FlyQuest were on a reset, so I don't expect to contest.
Oh, they're here, and they know. But as you said, Yuji finishing up part of the Krugs. He's coming around, and Spyrex is here too.
Ooh, they actually don't take this very fast. Hex Flash over the wall. Yuji's in there. Doesn't land the stun under Rosethorn, but it's enough, as Spyrex will get the kill with the range.
And now, thanks for the leash, buddy. Yuji comes through. We'll be able to pick up this dragon as well. Spyrex finds a kill, and FlyQuest across the board. It's not the same kind of play, but here we go.
Oh! Faisal with the outplay on Lunacia. Flashes in. Surely this will be a dead Cassante. Just trying to dodge around here. That's a long body slam cooldown. All outs here onto Faisal. Jumps away. Dodges the body slam. Doesn't quite have the damage. Oh, and cannot heal up through it. Faisal gets the solo kill.
And the amount of time that he takes to die actually makes things worse for Lunacia as Winsome. Oh, NXI. Oh, wait, what's happening?
X-Flash from Yuji. Action everywhere on the Rift. As Onat still does not have the flash, but is not the target. They're looking at Rosethorn. Haven't got him yet. Bot lane 2v2. Who's going to win it? Spawn gets the first kill. It's answered in reply. And Winsome should do a little bit more damage than a Nautilus. Has a full wave here, though. Actually, NXI might just turn this. This is really rough for Winsome to go for. Look at the damage that the minions are doing. And Winsome can't land another Q. Walking up. This should have it. The W shield. Winsome can't get it. The minions in the way. He misses. NXI. Does he have it? Ignites it. Oh, Winsome with the portal combat solo kill.
What the hell is going on in this game? What the hell is going on today? These games are wild. Every single place all over the map. Everyone on FlyQuest Challengers has one kill now.
This is literally solo kill top. Like the third gank mid lane.
Yep.
And an all-in 2v2 bot.
Yeah, and
all
now Masu, oh, even
and
more.
We're still going. Yuji's on to spawn, no flash, no heal, but he's doing a lot of damage back. Not enough, though.
Wow.
Winsome gets the second kill in this game.
Yeah, I can't believe it's the support who has the most. Everybody's got one. Winsome's got two at this point. Wow. Everywhere across the map, FlyQuest Challengers are challenging Team Fish Taco for everything across the board. Take another look, because we saw this in the picture-in-pictures. NXI, I thought for sure he was going to get rocked in this fight, but Masu positioning really defensively, actually, as we come back in. And finally, Masu's like, oh yeah, this is the time we go on in, and both AD carries auto-attack each other.
Look at all that gold pop up.
Yeah, this was really good from NXI, actually, right? Even though he might not understand like all the intricacies of how to lane in the 2v2, he knows how to go for like duels, right? That's one of the things that he was really good at as a jungler, to dodge out on a lot of these different moments and win some. I don't know if the Ignite came up or he had it the entire time. It still works.
Oh, that was beautiful from Yuji. Steadfast presence meant the Vault Breaker could not get Rosethorn out. Flashes over, heroic charges back further into their own jungle. And they pick up a kill onto Rosethorn, who I guess this is just what junglers do if they get put behind. They just invade permanently on the Raptors. Because that's not both junglers. They've gotten punished for that, but we're not done. Hex Flash from Yuji doesn't get there in time. NXI gets the back off.
Look at the CS differential that we're already ballooning in this game. The mid lane, 3 waves up currently for Spyrex. The bottom lane, 26. That is 4 waves already for Masu that he has an advantage, as well as a bunch of these plates that are getting picked up. And FlyQuest haven't left here, right? Yuji goes right on back to look at the blue buff. That's going to be a 3rd plate down on the bottom side of the map that FlyQuest have picked up.
Spyrex can win the trades against Onat here. Again, Yuji comes in. Heroic charges onto the minion, just trying to get up towards that Herald a little bit faster. Onat chunked out, will have to reset. We'll have teleport coming off cooldown shortly, so actually sticks around for one more wave. Masu jumps away. Oh, Moonlight Vigil dodged out. Flash used by the Ezreal, taking a lot of damage back from spawn, and Rosethorn is here looking for a dive. This is going to be all up to FlyQuest bot lane to survive this. They actually do. They just walk up to Rosethorn, win some body blocks, and Masu just pumps out the damage.
Oh, there goes Spawn
with the flash over the wall. Will take down the young AD carry. Teleport in for Spyrex. Now Spawn does not have any more tools. He is all alone in this one, but Spyrex says, it's a guaranteed kill on a Rosethorn.
NXI.
Might as well just go onto the jungler instead. NXI's in trouble, though. He did not get out of that.
Flash root?
Okay. I think he's good. Oh,
I don't know. Right. Flash root.
Edge line to safety, and Spyrex calls it off. Okay. Very risky, but a 1-for-1. They got Masu.
I do have to say, again, Spring Spawn never makes that play. This is character growth. This is character development coming through from Spawn, the player that we were expecting to talk about, as he has both of his team's kills in this game. But FlyQuest so far, they have been winning so many of these interactions. I think kind of goes back to my initial expectations about how these two teams would be playing into each other. And that FlyQuest, I think pound for pound, should be expected to be better than most of their counterparts here on Team Fish Taco. And the fact that they were so wrong about the play in Game 1 was remarkable, right? The fact that Rosethorn and Onat got so far ahead off of that is more of a surprise than what we're seeing right now as FlyQuest. They challenge over and over, so confident they are actually the better team.
And it's a complete 180 across the map. In Game 1, where everyone on Team Fish Taco was winning. This time, even Faisal, going back to that other play, he got the solo kill onto Lunacia. Like, it's just the script being flipped around. More the expectation that we had going into the day in Game 2 here as opposed to Game 1. But Taco are not out of it yet. They have a big gold deficit. It's not quite as bad as Game 1 where they had the gold lead. But you know what? As I said, it's getting a little worse. They just lost their first turret bot lane at 11 minutes, 30 seconds. Second dragon picked up for FlyQuest Challengers. Maybe they're going for their own speed run this time around. They are playing with a vengeance.
Yeah, this is speed run. What was their other speed run?
The previous game?
Oh, okay, the reverse speed run.
yes.
The counter speed run. I understand.
Yeah.
I mean, let's be honest. 24 minutes is a fast game, but we have seen faster in the Challengers League and the Academy scene before that, right? I think our record is still 18 minutes and change from Team Liquid. But still,
blisteringly fast. I remember that game.
It was insane. They just won every single skill check. But now FlyQuest Challengers, they are in a very dominant position at this point, as the first item has been completed for Faisal, for Spyrex. And we haven't really talked about this top lane, right? We set this one up as this could be Lunacia's opportunity to beat up on the guy who kind of replaced him in some ways, right? There was an expectation that if FlyQuest was going to replace Philip, it probably would have been with the super hot rookie that we saw in Lunacia.
There was expectation for that. I know I did, but here's a trap laid by Team Fish Taco. But they thought it was the Poppy. It was actually the Nico, and now Rosethorn's in a lot of trouble. Had backup for mid lane. Yuji was sticking around. Team Fish Taco get punished for their hubris thinking they had a pick.
Yeah. I still feel as though Team Fish Taco is in the mindset like, yeah, we got to keep on doing things. And FlyQuest is having a little bit of fun just reacting to all the plays that Team Fish Taco are trying to make, as now they're looking for Onat.
Okay. Oh, nice charm.
Nice
just in time to lock down Yuji. Does not have the keeper's verdict and picked off, shut down over to Onat.
Yeah. Great charm. We've seen some great charms today, first from Get Back and now from Onat in order to find a couple of these kills. But in the mid lane, FlyQuest are still beating up on this mid lane turret, and Spyrex around means it should be very tough to try and come in.
Ooh, okay. Rosethorn does not have the ultimate available. That season just is. They can't necessarily lock down Masu, and like I said, he still can blink away and get to a much safer position. That's just what Ezreal does. Rest of FlyQuest Challengers are now grouped up around the mid lane. They're trying to get another turret plate onto Masu. I believe this would be the 8th turret plate picked up by Masu. Not leading in the kill count, but leading in gold regardless. I have to imagine, based on how much they've invested. Spyrex now chasing down Lunasia. A lot of damage onto Cassante, who is just not getting a lot done in the side lane. Trying to push in a wave. Will get a few turret plates for himself, but I want to look at the gold between all the members. See how far ahead Masu and Spyrex are over their counterparts, because I got to imagine that's where a lot of it will be resting.
And the worst part about Masu being ahead is also the fact that as Ezreal, once you have those 2 items completed, I believe he was close to finishing the Training Force. Not at the same kind of pace that we saw from Rosethorn last game, but still very early on because of the amount of gold that has been funneled right into this AD carry. And so it's been fascinating to watch how different this game is, because neither of these games so far have been close, but they've also been very different sides, and I feel like we've been seeing a lot of that throughout the course of this summer split, as teams are just bashing on each other over and over again, back and forth. And now that the power is in Spyrex and Masu's hands, it's so tough to actually play through those.
Onat's been pretty slick with these charms so far, dodging out on a lot of Yuji's engages. Let's see, went for another Hex Flash there, but will survive. Spyrex stops the back as Onat will trade it back onto him a little bit. Still could be in danger here. FlyQuest Challengers might just commit to a dive underneath the turret. See how hard they want it. This is still a quick opportunity as the invade's coming in. If we can take a look at that gold, I'd still love it if observers could highlight that. I am very curious where Masu is, being down in kills, but having all the plates now. Will even probably just be gifted this turret in the mid lane. Like, yeah. I don't see anybody from Taco stopping the push.
Especially now that they know there's members of FlyQuest on the top half of the mid lane. Lunasia going for a bit more of an aggressive trade, but this mid lane will be going down here over for Masu. Will continue to snowball that lead. And I got bad news for any Team Fish Taco fans. This game is going to get harder before it gets easier, as Masu should be able to complete the Manamune and complete it into the Muramana relatively quickly. This is when FlyQuest will be at their strongest. But I also want to kind of point out a difference that we're seeing from FlyQuest Challengers now to the way that Team Fish Taco played our previous game, right? Team Fish Taco were constantly going for, I want to say almost like wild plays. They were constantly trying to push the tempo in ways where FlyQuest Challengers are playing a much more tempered version of the same game.
FlyQuest are controlling the pace right now, but Taco actually have a little bit of a tempo swing. Big flank from Spyrex, so flashes in onto 3 with the Pop Blossom Bouncy House. And gets a double kill for his trouble. Even NXI should fall down. That is 4 members of Team Fish Taco that wanted the Herald, but they did not realize how hard they would need to fight for it.
Yeah, that's not really a tempered response coming through from FlyQuest Challengers, as we see this deeper teleport coming out from Faisal. And oh my gosh, we were saying that he was just randomly winning games for Cincinnati Fury when he was on that team. Now he's grouping up with Spyrex. Not a whole lot. I don't even think the Explosive Cask knocks anyone back, because they just die.
I think it did just pop them. As we see in the picture-in-picture, something's happening live. It looks like Lunasia caught out in a side lane, as Winsome and Faisal will lock him down.
Oh, over the wall.
Do all out over the wall here, but that just makes it even easier for Faisal to look for a kill. Actually doesn't find it. Lunasia does survive.
Yeah. And Team Fish Taco actually have more members around the Dragon right now. The True Shot Barrage.
Oh, that looks like it's going to land. Okay, doesn't kill.
But still, even though there are more members from Team Fish Taco around, they are not the strong members as Faisal. Does he hop over the wall? He will see them, chasing them long and far.
Big flank from the big man. Rosethorn jumps onto the Wolves, and now we'll see Faisal. Says, uh-oh, maybe that was a mistake. Flash Vault Breaker away. That Summoner Spell down on the Vi right as the third dragon has spawned.
Yeah, unfortunate for Faisal there. The body slam into the Wolf means that Roasthorn will get away, but at the end of it, you get the main prize here in the next dragon, because Roasthorn 0-5-0 probably gives about 120 gold at this point of the game, and is instead trying to make something happen the other side. And Spyrex smartly checking with multiple different versions of himself.
Did he
like
see?
Spider-Verse.
I'm not convinced that he actually had vision of Roasthorn right there. Okay, now they will see. Winsome with the Skyrish Bloom. Now dive onto Spyrex. He's cold the wave, and another Pop Blossom. Spawn's got to do a lot of damage here. They will get the kill. Traded as NXI will fall, and so does Spawn. Team Fish Taco lose 2 on the dive and only pick up 1.
Yeah, it is a bit of a shutdown. So now Masu, oh, he's so fast. He's trying to chase down Onat. The guy's a flash, but you might be able to pick up the Summoner spells. That's the red buff landing. Nice dodge.
Charm dodged. Masu sidesteps it.
All right.
And Shrelia is a little late from Winsome, probably from cooldown, but not picking up the kill onto Onat. Just going to be the 1 for 2.
Yeah. Still. Now, what was the game time? 23:54 was the time that Team Fish Taco had when beating FlyQuest Challengers. FlyQuest have just under 5 minutes left in order to try and make this game even faster. And they are so far ahead. They are on their power spikes, and Masu trying to play forward. The big play has to come around this upcoming Baron as NXI looks.
Ooh, flash from Spawn. Lands the root onto Masu. They're trying to lock down the Ezreal. Wasn't enough, and now the teleports have come through. Spyrex almost lands the root onto Spawn, but he will sidestep it. Now the re-engage. They're back in onto Spyrex, trying to take down the Nico. They got him! Nico down. Teleport flank coming in, but Masu's popping off. He's gotten a double kill already. Lassie has not done enough damage. Will only claim Yuji, but Faisal's joined in on the fight now. Triple kill to Masu. Quadra kill to Masu.
He wants it.
He's going for it.
He's got a red.
He wants it. Masu with 1 more auto. Pentakill.
Oh God, what a way to put an end in this game, right? Masu standing tall through that whole thing, finding every single member. We said the play was going to be coming around the Baron, but it looks like Christmas is coming early. Watch how well he's able to find his spot, right? Even with the root coming through, he gets so far back and prevents NXI from landing that hook. That is the difference in this fight. If Masu goes down there, there is no way FlyQuest can take the rest of this fight. But as all the different threats start coming through, he makes sure he puts everybody else between him and the rest of the play. And he's just free hitting this entire time. He's taking a little bit of damage from Spawn, but as Lunacia comes through on the flank, look how he repositions to have the rest of his team between him and the enemy yet again. There's nowhere where Team Fish Taco can actually get to the AD carry because of how well he is finding different pockets with this mobility.
The thing that impresses me the most about Masu and has impressed me since last spring was his ability and willingness to switch targets in the middle of a fight.
Yes.
And those are the kind of fights that demonstrate that ability. He's watching everybody, and now they're on the Baron. They're on to NXI. They're on to the jungler. Roasthorn in a lot of trouble. He's going to get picked off. Bouncy House. He's down. Onat with the flank. Lands a charm. Big damage.
That's a lot of damage.
Moonlight Vigil from Spawn. Hasn't quite done enough, but
Masu
they got
him.
in trouble. He got him! Spawn takes down Masu, clipping the wings right after the pentakill. As FlyQuest Challengers, they no longer have control around the Baron.
Health bar's too low. Now Team Fish Taco have a small window. They're still down 9,000 gold, but finding the kill there onto Masu has to feel vindicating, especially for it to be going over to Spawn, who we have set up. He is the guy who is coming back from the LCS, looking for an opportunity to find his way back there. He's been playing so much more aggressive. Now, they're not going to be starting up the Baron just quite yet, but FlyQuest, they will be back for this Baron here as soon as Masu has respawned.
Ooh. Oh. Old positioning from Yuji right there. Taco was ready. They actually could have pounced on him. But yeah, it's not going to get much easier for Team Fish Taco. I kind of feel like they should have pushed for more there. You're 9,000 in the hole. I don't think you're going to get a much better opportunity now that Masu's back up on the Rift. 3 items completed on this
Spawn gets another item, like it'll get easier, but even with that big shutdown that they found there onto Masu, it should not be enough to put them in a powerful position. As we have another dragon spawning in a minute, FlyQuest can play for that, but they are rapidly approaching a spot where they will not be beating Team Fish Taco's timer on the game 1. as they continue to take even more structures. Again, playing a much more tempered version of the game than we saw from Rosethorn in particular.
FlyQuest Challengers are just pushing into mid lane and bot lane, controlling the approach to this Dragon Soul. They know that is the objective. You don't need to go for anything crazy right now. Just make sure that you don't give Team Fish Taco any avenue back into this game. Faisal is looking for a flank right here. Onat might spot it. Spyrax is in though. They haven't gotten onto Spawn yet. Spawn's doing a lot of damage. He got Spyrax. He's down and out. Spawn untouched, has a heal available. Gale forces forward, doesn't find Yuji. That is Masu over the wall as well. No summoner spells on the 80 carries. He did ghost there. Big play from Team Fish Taco to survive the engage.
And this Rosethorn that is pushed out entirely. FlyQuest, I mean, Faisal has very little mana as we see a Hex Flash from NXI.
Okay, not quite in range to land onto Masu right there. Because now Masu feels confident to walk up. The charm lands, cleanser instantly, but he's rooted down. Gets away. Now, teleport in.
Oh, the teleport.
Faisal's coming in for a flank
Round
right
two.
now. Rosethorn's on the flank himself. They're jumping onto Masu, but he's over the wall, positioned to safety. Nobody can damage him. Flash in from Lunacia. He's onto Masu. He's going for the Ezreal, but he cannot land it. Spyrax has now rejoined himself. He's on the Spawn. He got the enemy 80 carry. Spawn's in trouble, but so is Spyrax. Rosethorn turns it right back around. Spawn's got a Nautilus in front of him, but that is it to work with. Can he survive? He's got Flash coming off cooldown shortly, but Masu feels empowered to walk up, to go forward. He's got Winsome behind him. Winsome goes and face checks the brush, and Masu will claim the kill onto Spawn. A chaotic fight, but this time around, FlyQuest Challengers take it.
Again, we have to be praising Masu for his positioning and his quick-wittedness in this fight as Masu yet again finds different pockets to play around. It will result in them picking up the Baron. They can still go over towards the Dragon as they get both major objectives in this one. Or they're going to wait for Spyrax. Ooh, a couple seconds. They probably could have waited, but that is okay. They still get everything they could have come for. Almost 12,000 gold in the lead. I hope we can get a replay of that one because, again, watching Masu navigate these team fights is really, really impressive.
Arcane
this guy
shifting over the Raptor wall brought Rosethorn away from the team. He had, I believe it was Yuji, maybe it was Faisal. One of the tanks was on him to keep Masu alive. And now the team's back up to this Dragon. I don't think Team Fish Taco are ready to answer this. So that's going to be the Baron and the Dragon Soul to FlyQuest Challengers.
So much coming through. It's just a work of art watching this rookie continue to grow as a player, right? We were really impressed with him in spring for his ability to make big plays in an offensive manner. And now just watching him kite on this Ezreal and find different opportunities to be safe in all of these fights, it's a different kind of impressive. It kind of looks back to some of the heroes of old that really used to play this way and perfect it. We have had so many strong Ezreal players over the years that have been able to showcase how aggressive you can be.
Just took a chunk right there. Teleport from Lunacia. They see an angle.
Masu.
They're trying to get onto Masu. Can they get the 80 carry? He's still alive and Spawn is down. There's just no hope for Team Fish Taco. They threw everything at the Ezreal and they can't even take him out of the fight. Masu with a double kill and a victory lap here as FlyQuest Challengers can walk this Baron-empowered wave in and look to end the game. Onat as the only living member should not be enough from Team Fish Taco. And a complete 180 from game number one. FlyQuest Challengers got shut out. Now they're the ones locking the front door saying you cannot get into this game. A pentakill for Masu, an incredible carry performance for him and the rest of the squad. And that is a split series, 1-1. FlyQuest Challengers take game two.
They will buy enough time for Yuji to pick up another kill on the far side of the map, but
Oh no! No, all right. What happened?
It's all right. You know, it is still a good spot coming through from FlyQuest Challengers. As you said, a complete reversal from what we saw from game one, a little bit closer to what I was expecting in this matchup. And so even as we see FlyQuest fight their way to a draw in this series, I actually want to spend the time to say how impressive it was that we got to see Team Fish Taco dominate FlyQuest Challengers in game one. Yes, it was just over a couple decisions and then they were able to snowball it, but that was not what we were expecting. We were saying that Yuji and Spyrax might be our best mid-jungle duo behind maybe AP and Mir.
Yeah, and even in game 2, the fact that they were able to win that one fight when they're down 8,000 gold, they hard commit onto Spyrax, who's on the Nico flank. They absorb it. Spawn lives. Spawn played incredibly well in that game, and I think he deserves massive props for all the effort he was putting in, despite them being so far behind. But when Masu gets a lead like that, he is also a carry that we know can deliver those types of performances, and the team was rallying around him this time around. So congratulations to FlyQuest Challengers. Well played to Team Fish Taco splitting the series. We're going to send it to a short break before Beatdown is back with one of the players from FlyQuest Challengers to chat about that banger of a series. We'll see you there.
Welcome back, everyone, to the Verizon post-game interview. We have Winsome, the support of the second game winning FlyQuest Challengers. Winsome, congratulations on quite a magnificent comeback, because game 1 was a little tough, and unfortunately we got to start there really quickly. Walk me through game 1. Where do you think it went wrong? How would you maybe avoid that in the future?
I look like the champion. We purple setup was fine, but the process it have a problem. So we fixed up about the process, and then I think we get a data from the game 1. I think our tier can be a little bit changed. So I think it was good to know the good data.
So you find it like to be like a learning experience? Yeah, it didn't go bad. It went bad, but it's regular season. You have time to experiment.
Yeah.
Okay, that's good. I mean, yeah, we did talk about how there are more games for you guys this split, so it's good that you guys are utilizing them. Game 2 felt a lot better, obviously. So where was the success there? You and Masu especially looked very good. What do you think was key for you guys winning in that second game?
I mean, I think our players are more good, honestly. But I think we can play more good at. I think we script pretty well during the recent scrim.
Yeah.
So I think tomorrow we verse easy. I think we just try to smash them.
Yeah.
And then I think it's the reason why we win.
Well, you did smash them and look good. So I want to talk about the team a little more. Now you have a new top laner in Faisal. So what is it like working with him, and has it been hard at all to integrate him within the team?
Say again?
So Faisal has joined the team now. Has it been tough to play with the new top laner, or has it been just easy?
I think it's easy, and then Faisal play pretty well, honestly. And then I like the pronouns. I can hear the English exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's good to communication each other. Yeah, so positive.
Cool. All right. So the next thing I want to ask you is that Josh asked me to ask you this, so I'm just going to go ahead and do it. Have you ever had something called King Hawaiian Rolls?
King Hawaiian what?
It's a kind of dinner roll.
Dinner roll?
Yeah, if you've ever heard of it. It's kind of, I think it has pineapple in it. It's kind of sweet. Apparently no pineapple. Have you ever had it?
No.
Well, Josh, your food choice sucks apparently. So it is what it is. And now the second to last question, Winsome.
Yeah.
There was a Josh's face. Okay, so next thing I'm going to ask you, this was also from Josh. I'm going to give you $1 million in a briefcase.
Oh.
Untaxed. Right now. In cash. That's
a lot of money, yeah.
Yeah. So, so if you do that, but Masu has to play on Wi-Fi for all of his solo queue games. Just solo queue. So no Ethernet cable, but you get $1 million. Are you gonna take it?
Oh, I like it.
So is that a yes?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, there you have it. Winsome has said, sorry, Masu, solo queue is going to suck for you for the rest of the year, but he gets $1 million. Really, thank you for that. And before we close this one out, Winsome, is there any shout-outs you want to make? Anybody you want to talk about specifically? Team, friends, family, something like that?
I mean, I think our team's doing well. So, yeah, thank you for rooting for us. And then, yeah, we're gonna win the NACL, I think. Thank
Nice.
you.
Yeah, I love that. Thank you so much for doing the interview, Winsome. That's been Winsome support for FlyQuest Challengers. We're going to throw it to a short break as we get ready for our final series of the day. Evil Genius Challengers versus Cincinnati Fear right after this break.